I'm Thesis Sahib, and my pal here is Jesse Dangerously.
What on earth happened to Pritchard Tralavan?
He just sent me a text right now saying he's not showing up, and Joel isn't here either. So I'm totally flying blind here. He didn't do the intro.
They're supposed to.
Uh,
Like, we told
yeah,
everybody there's no going home for holidays, right? Like, that's. We're on lockdown.
this once you're here, you're here. Like this is our professional, personal buble.
Once you're on. Once you're on Astral Island, nothing else matters.
Oh yeah,
That's life.
dude,
Period.
I know this. You know this. One of the other Jessies used to know this. You
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. I
I'm
guess
like, hey, pal.
let's just see. But maybe we can get Pritchard and Joel to do like a New Year's resolution where they promise to take things a little more seriously. I
I think
see.
it's about that time.
I see that you've got a little friend with you, though. You've got a grown
Well,
Grogu over
yeah,
your shoulder.
we got a grown goo right here.
Yeah, you may have noticed. I watched the rest of Mandalorian season 2. We
You
powered through
did. You
it.
watched it all.
Yeah, now I
You
know
watched it
everything.
all. Cool.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Nice.
it was very good.
Uh
What
oh.
was that?
Here we go. What?
No, it was good. Okay,
Yeah.
well, the timeline starts to raise questions. So they're saying it's 5 years after Jedi.
Yep. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yep.
So I was kind of like with Boba Fett coming back and being an entirely different human being from the original trilogy. I thought, okay, he was either in the Sarlacc for a really long time, or he's been out a really long time. And 5 years is a long time, but like he seems considerably old. He seems like he should have had a lot of experiences to change him from who he was to who he is now. I just don't think 5 years is going to cover it.
Okay, that's one maybe slight thing where you might have some breathing room there, but he's also been in a sarlacc for like a while
How long do you
and then
think?
got out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, we never see his. Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute, though. So you're saying his age is questionable in that way, but if you look at him in. So let's actually look at this. So he was
Hmm.
a kid. He was maybe like, what, like 10 in Attack of the Clones, right?
Sure.
And then. So how many years have gone from Attack of the Clones till that?
That that's got
Because
to be
that
a
would
known.
signify his age.
I expect you to know these things. I don't know that.
Well, I know, but like realistically, so it's the time from when like it's basically the time from when Luke was born until Luke
After.
is the age. So it's like whatever ages Luke in Mando,
Yeah,
add that plus take that plus like 10 years ish or something.
sure. I just.
So like 12, 14, 15 years maybe even actually,
But
let's
I'm even
say.
just trying to like compare his
Yeah.
physique in
Oh, he's like thicker
Jedi.
and everything.
Yeah, he's like, you know,
Dude,
it seems like he would have had like. It seems like it would take a long time for your body to change that much. Maybe
5
clones are
years? I
different.
mean, dude, like, I mean, I'm up and down all the time with my weight and size, so I don't even
Oh,
fucking know.
sure.
It just
Yeah.
depends how much surf I got that winter or summer. You know what I mean? Like, really, that's my shit.
And he picked
You
up the
know,
accent
like
somewhere. I guess it's cool. It's cool. We just are they gonna
in
go
Attack of
back?
the Clones, he has the accent. In Attack of the Clones, he has the accent.
So he's just like faking it for a while that he doesn't have the accent.
Well,
Maybe
you
what?
don't really hear his voice. They did go back and retcon it in. He redid the voice in the re-releases, which is stupid. I mean, that stuff's all
I
easily
guess he kind of
avoidable. That
got
they
to.
fucked up all the way. They fucked that up all the way in the beginning of the first of the prequels. Like they should have had him in the prequels be like not have that accent really. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like or when he puts on the mask, the accent. Well, okay, actually, no, it doesn't make any sense because his dad had the accent,
Hmm.
right? Which he sounds like that, which is fine. But
Yeah.
then Boba, as a kid, kind of had a little bit of an accent. But then, so Boba grows up, but then he doesn't have the accent in Return of the Jedi. They should have just made the kid and new Boba not have an accent. Like he can act. like he doesn't have an accent. You know
Right.
what I mean? He could talk straighter. That is a flaw. That is a definite flaw.
Maybe.
That's a
I mean,
yeah. I
for the
mean, no,
character,
questionable though, because when
just
he
in terms
puts
of
on the mask,
continuity, like
content.
it's not
But
it's
they
not
could have
whack
made
for
it
him
where
to
he
have
had
an
the accent, and
accent.
when he wore, let's say it again.
It's not whack for him to have an accent. It's just the continuity is hard to like
Oh yeah, no, the accent's
believe
dope,
in.
but like it just doesn't follow suit of the story. But they could have made it where he had an accent. When he put on the mask, he had less of an accent,
That'd be a
right?
funny
Which
thing
would
for a
make
mask to do. To like, oh, it's just like a vocal filter. It removes accents. So
hey man,
for a
I
bounty
mean,
hunter, it's like it's harder to be recognized.
hey, well, for Darth Vader, I mean, he's just like a shriveled up Scottish dude inside, and then
That's
outside he's
true.
yeah, he's a middle aged black guy with a dope deep voice.
Oh my
So,
god, he's
so
just
I mean,
got
there's
like
that.
he's like picture Darth Vader like sitting like he's got there's a mobile app that controls the filters on his helmet and he's like scrolling through different voices. He's like no 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 maybe and like but he keeps going back to the James Earl Jones ones. He's like obviously
This
this is
works.
yeah,
This works.
this is dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But okay, so hey, the other thing is too, he did say maybe like 6 lines or something in the original show, right? Like out of the original three, out of the two that he truly appears in,
Boba Fett.
Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett only says like a couple things. He's like, "That's not part of a deal," and then
Yeah.
like something else like, "If he dies, he's not worth anything to me," and then. You know what I mean? So that's really all he says, but
Hmm.
which you can't pick up an accent, really. I mean, it's not like a lot of dialogue, but I mean that's a bit of a goof.
You know, it's funny.
I kind of goofed it.
Even as I'm saying it, I'm like, I guess it doesn't really matter. Like the story's great, but I
I
just
mean, to me there's other huge things with Star Wars that are like, yo.
yeah.
Sorry, but go ahead.
Well, I just
Yeah.
like
I'm
I get
interested to hear what you think.
they make him the Boba Fett they want him to be. You know, they make him the Boba Fett that I think people were excited for, and we kind of discussed
Definitely,
before that
definitely.
like, you know, that's not totally based on the Boba Fett that was in the original movies. That's like based on people's affection for the character that grew later. So
And also where more of the extended universe went into stuff like in other books and cartoons and stuff. Like he was a badass in the
yeah.
extended universe though, right? So like there's a little bit of that.
So I
So
got so amped up about it that I also watched The Rise of Skywalker just to
oh
calm
yeah,
myself down. That's the
that's the
last
middle
one
one,
because I
right?
didn't.
Of the new
No,
ones.
that's
That's the
nine.
last.
That's number nine.
I can't even remember these ones. I hate them. Sorry. Go ahead.
uh,
I'm so disappointed. Sorry, man. Sorry. Yeah, so you saw it
yeah, I
and you
saw it
loved
and
it.
I hadn't seen. Well, I didn't. There were things I loved about it, and there was things I didn't care about. Like, it got me several times. Like, basically anything that like shot right back to like the through line from the original films struck home for me. Um, but I like as far as like the plot and everything that was going on with the new characters, I just felt like they failed to develop those characters into like a new group of exciting people that I really wanted to know what was going on with them. And I think that was a little
Big
bit like
time.
the
Yeah.
back and forth fighting between the different directors, probably like, and you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
even if I was more into what I thought Ryan Johnson was doing with them than what J.J. Abrams was doing with them, having them go one way and get yanked back the other way, it just made it felt like they were like pawns on a chessboard, like going through these motions, but like I didn't feel a connection with them anymore. And I don't care about uh, the connection between Ray and Rilo Kiley. Like
Oh yeah.
I could have. Like the idea of like a dyad is interesting, especially
Oh yeah.
if they had tied that back into Luke and Leia.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
that that
Big time.
like
Big
that
time.
that's a dyad that was like super overlooked um, to
Oh
date.
yeah. Terribly.
Oh
Well, that's
man,
what we wanted to see in the new movies, right? That's what like
yeah.
that was the obvious cool thing to explore. But
And they
you know,
even show that
anyways, yeah.
super brief clip of Luke and Leia training as adults,
Yes.
like after
Yeah.
Jedi,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that I want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Exactly. Exactly. Like they could have gone on with a cool storyline about their son, about Leia and Han's son turning dark. Like that kind of had to happen maybe
Right.
because it was like Legends, but also all this other stuff, and it kind of like made the thing complete. But okay, so here's my thing: is like I could talk people out there, homies out there, fans out there of Star Wars. I could talk forever about my how I didn't love Ryan Johnson's thing. It's similar to probably a lot of arguments you would hear out there on YouTube. Besides the fact that I loved the fact that there was more women and more people of like
It's like,
diverse, I think that was one of the dope parts.
if you take
But I
out the
just didn't like the
racism,
yeah, exactly. No, people are like, "That's the problem with it." I'm like, "That's really not the problem.
yeah,
That's the only good thing about it. It's just that they could have been acting in different plots that I thought would have been better." You know what I mean? Like, no, that's not the problem. You
yeah.
fucking dick. You know. But as far as like the plot issues and stuff, like I'm pretty much the same as everybody else. But Jesse, can you tell us what you think is dope about Ryan Johnson's version, and I'll try not to like go ugh, too
That's
much.
honestly, that's I want to do a whole episode on that.
Okay,
I want to dig
okay.
a hole. You and me go into space fights, and
We'll have a fight about it.
cover up ourselves with the dust of Tatooine, and like we'll really dig into it. But I'm not prepared right now because I'm gonna have to rewatch that. I guess what I really just wanted to say
Okay,
was that
okay.
I'm excited. Like I got partly from the conversation that we had that aired last week and finishing Mando 2, I'm like, okay, get me into this. Now I want to read like some extended universe maybe I never checked out before. Maybe I'll give the prequels another chance just to like figure out what I do and don't like about them because I was so like turned off when I first saw them. So all I'm
Yeah.
saying is 2021 is going to be a year of space fights. I'm ready to
Yeah,
dig back into
dude.
it.
Yeah, I'm all about the space fights, and like I'm excited that you're excited because like half the thing that I explain to like my friends who aren't into Star Wars is like I'm interested in this as someone who writes stories
Hmm.
and writes songs and is a creator, you know, a painter and all these things like that. Like I'm interested to see how Lucas's legacy has been changed and reinvented, and I'm just excited about that as much
Hmm.
as I am excited and I do enjoy the show, you
Right.
know, or the different parts of it. Even when it's fucked up, I still like it because I like to talk about how it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, and again, just like rap,
yes, exactly.
all the
Star Wars is
stuff we
so
love.
much like rap. Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Hey, we should bring on a little segment at some time about rappers who talk about Star Wars.
that's
That'd be
true
fun.
because we've got our deep crates
We
uh,
got crates.
to dig from. Um,
Yeah, if any rappers out there are watching this and want to send in any of the rap songs about uh, Star
Star
Wars, let us
Wars.
know. Yeah,
Even if you just have like one line, but the deeper the
yeah,
better. The deeper the better.
yeah,
Speaking
yeah,
of rap songs, before we go back into like the
yeah.
last bit of the Star Wars interview, I want to share
Mm-hmm.
something that I made
Ooh, cool.
17 years ago.
Dope.
The song is called Words Ending in Ick for 1,000. It's produced by DJ Demo from San Francisco, who I have lost touch with ages ago. But last I heard, he was still cool with me putting it out, so I hope that didn't change. He's a very nice guy. He did the beat and he did scratches, and it was for an album that I never finished. Very much in line with like the Imaginary Friends, what never was, uh, what may have been. Uh, and like just because I've been having like a hard time creatively lately, like I haven't been finishing anything.
Oh yeah. Likewise.
But
Likewise. Yeah.
when I started my monthly songs, finishing really old ones and getting them out there that were for albums that collapsed was pretty much the point. So I had this, I had a recording of it that was from maybe 10 years or 7 or 8 years after I wrote it. Um, I think it's a little juvenile in a way, but I also think it's in a way the best writing I've ever done. Uh, you be the judge. Would it be all
Okay.
right if I
No.
play this for people?
Dude, I want to hear it. How are we gonna hear it? What method are you playing it from?
Well, because Joel's not here to place the
I
needle
know.
on the gramophone, I'm going to switch to this.
Whoa.
I built this little room for us to go into, and
Oh,
there we go.
dope,
And we got
dope.
that artwork there by Kenneth Botsford Jr. that he made for me
Oh, dope.
this month. And actually, the Jesse Dangerously lettering, I'm going to do a T-shirt of that because It looks like the old
I
Jeopardy set.
really like that lettering. I really like
Yeah.
that lettering.
He gave it to me
That's
clean
dope.
as well. Shout out to Kenneth Botsford Jr. Has done so much design and illustration for me. See,
KBJ in the place to be.
okay, here we go. Be
Okay,
kind.
let's do it. Let's see it. Oh yeah. Turn it up.
Oh, really? Can I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you turn it up any louder there, Holmes? There we go.
Squad car hijacked by
Flag.
2 little kids with cat pistols. A blast from the cops whistles, they're calling back. Little did they know the road ahead of them would be the death of them. It's called life, and it's a
Yes.
Jetta, and they split up and met again in Cuba some years later, comparing anecdotes with a note of panic and fear. They were both aged more than the time's passage accounted for. Both bore regrets and a massive amount of sorrow. Not for petty crimes, but for walks in the park. Not taking it for licking off a shot in the dark. God-forsaken and tired, aching inside, faking a smile that's vacant and awakening hatred and pride that they can't deny, making their lives so fleeting and brief. Trace arteries to the heart disease, still beating, at least conceding defeat. They swore to become rivals just for fun, but that proved unreliable. Reading from the Bible, bleeding from the nose, the meeting undergoes a switch to a glummer tone. Building a summer home away from the waste of time and space, designing a place to find the peace of mind, to leave behind the grease of crime, but that's not life. Don't believe the fantasy that sees the prisoners receiving amnesty. I mean, please, blast off for your moon of green cheese and bring your crackers and dip, dive to miss the crack at the whip. Snap attack, front to back, it's getting kinda hectic. Needles wear grooves out and chew the vinyl record. One kid moves like a leopard and the other rides a panther. They saw the final Jeopardy and didn't like the answer at all. Drastic measures. Drastic measures. Drastic measures. See, they carry Lucchini, but Ritter and Gambler away very routinely. They're escapists like Harry Houdini. They're married to genies,
I
but
don't
they
know if it's
never
going
have
any louder,
recurring
but
dreams. Their lives are twin shafts of gold. Distraction is currency, action is pure
That's
and
good.
simple.
Volume's
Who
good.
like seeing feelings or they keep their dealings curtain sinful? Stay alert and nimble enough to blur the edges of banality. Staving off the grave but technicality. Struck a sort of a deal on the court of appeal. Getting bored of the real, they're not the sort of the steel. Because with the fletching and certain disturbing certainties that every person needs, and no one wants to know they'll hurt and heed the curtain call, averting all burdens, the work of reason. Furtively diverting all the urgency to birds and bees. Emergency serve to deceive the whips from believing it exists. When they see the abyss, they're teetering on, seizing upon the greed of the bomb, like beating upon, sitting them on the greed and the done, and the eating, the feeling is fleeting and gone. Beating a gong and banging a drum to drown the sounds of nature out. Bound to take the route that takes us straight to what I just speak about. Figuring out the ignorant bliss is bigger than this. I'm making a guess when I declare the kids are scared of choking to death and taking a breath, but I can attest that I detest mortality and avoid escapes to stare into the blaze that might destroy the place. Now who's afraid of the Dharma? Girl by birth in this drama. Who's ready to scrap, haul off, slap the earth in his mama? Who's a worthless anonymous automaton that's losing consciousness? Who wanted this? Who's on this trip to see the sights and monuments? Read and write the documents by light that seems innocuous. As you discern the pages burning, provide the phosphorescence, lost direction, stress and depression, lessons, perspective, vote. So you pause the record, reflect and rest in a second. You know the eventual long-term goal of the sensual palm front road is to send the knock on wood when it's all gone cold. And your defense is the pretense that what? The light is hectic. Drastic measures. The what? The light is hectic. Drastic measures. It gets drastic. It's getting kinda hectic. 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 It's getting kinda hectic.
Yeah, there we go. Little jam for the people. Oh, Thesis is hypnotized. I've mind-bended him. Will Wolf says it's his
Yo.
soundtrack for playing RimWorld. Like always or just right now? Cool, Will.
Yo, sorry, I just got into that. I was listening to the song and it was on the delay from me hearing it, but dude, I really fucking like that song,
Thank
man.
you.
Here's the crazy thing. I have heard that song and I've backed you up on
Yeah.
it's getting kind of hectic. So at
Yeah.
first I was listening to it and I was gonna do my like normal spiel that people should say when they listen to a song for the first time is like, if I hear it just once, I don't want to like comment on it much because I like a couple listens and of course I'm listening to it staggered and I'm like the volume's too quiet, whatever the fuck, but it's actually the volume was good, I think. It was just on my end, but like uh I really like that song, dude. Like you're rapping your face off and they're good raps and your voice sounds clean. Like it's good, man. It's good.
You are so kind. Yeah, you've been hearing it for like 15 years. Like, I
That's
definitely,
right.
as soon as I wrote it, I started performing it because I was so excited about it. And it was like a showstopper because of those fast bits in the second verse.
Oh
It,
yeah.
it was like one of my most show offy pieces for a while,
Oh
um,
yeah.
which I think is part of why I never had a good recording of it early on because I was like dissatisfied with like
Yep.
my tightness every time I tried to record and it was also just an album where I just never had a final version of any of the songs for it.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but yeah, it stayed in my live set. And it went out for like a few years when I got tired of it. But yeah, only recently did I realize that like the last demo I did of it, I was happy with. So I contacted my guy Chris Burns, C Money Burns, in Maine who mixes most of my singles, and he got the voice nice and clear. He's got a good studio, and yeah, I'm super happy with it as like a rap. It's honestly just like it's a little. It was written by me at age 23, so it's like
Right. Right.
pseudo deep. Like there's some stuff that I think like there's still stuff I think I was clever about because I'm my own big fan, but the song's about trying to like live really fast to ignore the fact that you're definitely going to die someday and all the
Yeah.
ways that people distract
Yeah.
themselves from their mortality. And
Mhm.
but like I don't know. I just didn't know much about that. It was a purely academic exercise at the time, so
I don't know, man. That's like that kind of a thing is like even more poignant right now, I think, too, because it's like myself, as we were just kind of talking pre-show, like I'm filling my day with so much work because I'm trying to not think about stuff.
yeah.
And I when I realize that, I kind of go, "Oh, that sucks." You know what I mean? And then I'm like, "Should I keep doing all the work I'm doing or not?" Like it's
Yeah.
just this cycle as a creative, especially,
Yeah, the last few days I've been like in a fog and like more than I have been in a long time. Like
Yep.
I'll either be like really fixated on stuff that's upsetting or like just my brain's completely switched off and like it's not really good for it's not good for my creative life, it's not good for my work, and it's not good for my relationships and friendships like yeah, I don't know, maybe we are in such a crucible right now that it becomes bizarrely relevant again. Well, hopefully because it's coming out, it's going to be on like Spotify and everything as of Friday, but it's on Bandcamp and
Dope. Well,
SoundCloud
thanks for
now.
giving us the listen right now, man. It was awesome. It was
It's
dope.
always to my advantage to have you pay attention to me. Actually,
Hell
people should
yeah.
know this. I should just plug this. I have a Patreon for my monthly singles. Like
Yes.
people can
Yes.
subscribe for $1 just to make sure I can keep making those singles. And because if they subscribe for $3, they get to hear them as soon as I've got a master before I put it up anywhere else. Um,
Dope.
so
Dope.
like, and there's people who like throw me more money than that, but it's not really necessary. Like, uh, $3 a month will get you like every song I'm working on, kind of as I'm working on it. I have like a playlist of demos that even like the people collaborating with me haven't heard that I
Oh,
sneak
that's
out to the
dope.
Patreon. So just
Yeah, yeah.
I should probably put that
Wow.
link in the chat if I was
Yes, you should, man.
if I was
You
any
should.
good at
And
promo.
yeah, put that in there. Always put that in there, homie. Like, yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Um, and I'm sorry to hear you're dealing with all that shit, man. Because like I relate. You know, I don't know. I'm in a different fog in my own way.
Yeah.
Um, like the worst thing for me right now is deadlines. Like normally
Mhm.
that's how I thrive. Is being given deadlines. I go out and I
Can
attack
you
the
crunch?
project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tackle the project and I get it done. But right now it's like deadlines are actually giving me anxiety more than I ever had before, which is
Yeah.
really strange. I mean, I'm okay. I'm gonna be fine. And I'm not trying to do woe is me. I'm just realizing a change, and it's kind of sad a bit, I'm like, because that's not normally me. And where's this, you know,
Yeah, you
where's it
want to
coming
feel
from? Is it,
familiar to yourself. You don't want to feel like you're not yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm doing really well. Like I'm working with a great gallery right now, and I know we were going to talk about what next year brings. We can do that later. Like I got a great
Mhm.
year, depending on how things go. But like even in Panda, some cool stuff going down. So
Yeah.
um,
Good.
yeah, we could talk about that
I don't
later.
think it's being like too woe is me to just, recognize that there's stuff you're struggling with. Like we're all trying to relate.
Mm,
Like these days everybody's I guess we say these days so much. Everybody's always
mm,
struggling with a bunch of stuff, and I guess like
exactly.
a gigantic global disaster brings it into sharper focus, and it's a little bit easier for
Yeah.
more people to like acknowledge it. But like, how angry I am at people all the time also could really use a little more of an injection of that. Like, well, everybody's going through some bullshit all the time, probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you're angry at someone who's being a dickhead, it's a bit different, though.
True. But I
So yeah,
even then, if I can find the patience,
sure.
I'm gonna feel happier with how I dealt with it. That's something I learned eventually.
And those are some good notes,
Mm.
some good things to live by.
What else have we
Yeah.
got there
Some
in the?
what
I
else have we
love this
got in
paper
the?
shuffling.
Yeah, I know. I'm very professional now.
Well, do you
It's
wanna
just because we're
go?
getting all that Patreon money.
We've just been able to buy many half sheets of paper. You know what we do?
So many.
We
This
buy
is
them as
computer
full
paper
sheets.
cut in half, by
Cut
the
them in
way.
half.
Like
Yeah.
my mom gave me a thing of computer paper, and I just cut it up and draw on it. Yay! I'm
Aw.
43. But
Dope.
yo, so what are we saying here?
Well,
What
let's.
what what?
Do you want to play? We've got like more from our space fights interview with the Galactic
Oh,
Council,
yeah,
and we can
yeah,
play that for
definitely.
people. It's a return of Wordburglar, who I believe is in the chat,
Hey,
and
Bergie, what's up, homeboy?
Ginzu3. Midway through this video, he has to go to his daughter's graduation, but
Yeah,
he shares some good insights, and yeah, the whole deal is dope. So let's watch that, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about the future and what it may bring.
definitely, definitely. Rogue Leader Ginzu, what's up,
Oh,
homie?
hey, my friends. What the reason I wanted to convene the Galactic Council on Star Wars Deep Lore.
Yeah.
Do you see Sand being one of the major antagonists? The reason I wanted to convene the Galactic Council on Star Wars Deep Lore is to see how we're all feeling about the forthcoming content from Disney Star Wars TM created by Walt Disney. So I just want to I'm just gonna bring out the shows, and I want to hear how you feel about the prospects for the shows that have been announced that are coming. So here are the forthcoming Star Wars properties. Obi-Wan Kenobi, starring Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, set about 10 years after Episode 3. How are we feeling about it? Thumbs
Sounds
up.
cool. Sounds cool. They could completely fuck it up, but it sounds like there's lots of good things to draw from. A little bit of Vader here and there could be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to use Hayden Christensen pretty tastefully with this, and I think the guy deserves a chance to come back to this role. And
Yeah.
Do you see Sand being one of the major antagonists?
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
I'm not going to justify that with laughing.
They announced the possibility of this, right? Years ago when they announced the Han Solo movie. And
The
unfortunately,
Kenobi, yes, but the Ewan McGregor Kenobi they've been talking about, but I think the attachment of Christensen is real new.
Well, yeah.
This is apparently a limited miniseries, so it's not going to be like a season 1, season 2. It's confined to one run, and that's
I
it.
like that idea. I like that idea.
I'm most excited about this one, and I think they are going to take
that.
the movie idea and I love Solo. I think Solo's a fantastic movie of the newer Star Wars movies.
Me too.
It was a perfectly adequate movie. Yeah, it was all right.
That's where I'm at with it. It didn't give me really like the Star Wars feelings that the other sequels have given me, but I enjoyed it. Like I'm glad.
Have you
I
rewatched
want to
it?
see what
in
the zany comedy version of it was that apparently they changed it from.
See,
that's what I want to see.
I want to see all the alternate versions.
Have you noticed
if they make an offshoot Star Wars movie and it's a comedy, I'm down.
Like there's a scene in
this.
Solo towards the end when they're going through the Kessel Run, and Woody Harrelson is he's in the whirligig gun and the turret and the Millennium Falcon. Sorry about that. And he takes a hit, and all of a sudden he's like, "Ow, my thumbs!" like that, and it's just completely incongruent with the rest of the scene. And it's like that was left over from when it was a comedy movie. And like, how did that slip? How did that get into this movie? But I want to see what that was all about, because I bet that movie is like, number one, it's got to be terrible, but like so terrible that it's like a new classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like it. And after rewatching everything, I've actually rewatched Solo. I've now seen it, I think, 3 times. It's awesome. Every rewatch is better. I mean, there's all these moments you kind of forget about because it's so overwhelming to watch, and it is a bit jarring seeing a different actor playing Han Solo, and you're like, wait, what is going on?
I thought he did fine.
He did great. He did great. And wow, like when the train heist scene and the costumes and the designs, the set designs, and the Chewbacca meeting, and just the dirtiness, and it's bam. So anyway,
that
Obi-Wan,
dirt is key.
I'm super excited about it.
I agree with you so much about dirt being the heart and soul of Star Wars, and how filthy a set is a big part of whether I give a shit. I will say. I
want to say something. I think Solo failed because of the second sequel. Because the second sequel was so bad that everyone's like, "Well, fuck this. I don't want to see this stuff anymore."
That's not it went from held. That's not a universally held opinion. That the last
dude, come on.
It's so good.
That one is also better with
big
rewatch.
Can of worms.
It's
What, we talking about Ryan Johnson's movie?
Yeah.
We're talking about Ryan Johnson's movie.
Brilliant.
You're kidding me. Anyways, we'll get into that later.
This is a whole other episode.
That's a whole other thing.
I think we may need a weekly Star Wars show.
The Han Solo movie came out too close to that. I think they should have stuck to a holiday release schedule, because they had been doing it so that you knew every holiday there's a new Star Wars movie. They put it out in the spring, and it just, people were still like, "Oh, I still haven't seen the last new one," and people got confused.
Were disappointed.
And they didn't understand.
Man.
And it, like the Marvel movies were very smart about the release schedule, and I think that was a tricky thing. And then they just pulled the same thing. There was supposed to be a Boba Fett movie there, and maybe that's what the Book of Boba Fett is. But yes, excited for Obi-Wan.
I'm hoping that Obi-Wan also deals with Vader's fucking kids. Like are we going to see Luke and Leia, where they go, and like what he thinks of them? Like, explain to me how he gets from one place to the other with those kids. Second series, Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson. It's pretty much like Angel to Mando's Buffy. Psyched about that.
With me, I never really watched the Clone Wars or any of the animated shows, so Mandalorian is pretty much my first experience with this character. Interesting. I probably check the show out, but I'm not super hyped on it.
Do you know what era of her? Do you know what era of her life it takes place? Because I'm really stoked about her whole trip with because she was Anakin's Padawan, and partly the reason Anakin got disenfranchised with the council is because the council kind of turned their back on trusting Ahsoka and actually kicked her out of the council. And he was like, what the fuck? And then they found out that the problem wasn't actually hers. She actually didn't cause the issue. She wasn't involved. And then Anakin's like, I don't really trust you guys anymore because you fired my Padawan. And so that was part of, with all the Padme stuff, that makes him go, who are these guys? Like, I don't trust these guys. And then he's got Palpatine in his ear going, they're not that good. They're just the foot soldiers of the Republic or whatever, right? So, that's an interesting thing. So I'm interested to see her trip and her whole thing about being a gray, quote unquote, gray Jedi. Supposedly Qui-Gon was gray a little bit too, and everything with the Bindu, the Bindu and all that stuff like that or whatever that you see in Rebels. Did you watch the Rebels cartoon? That's really good.
I'm an adult.
It's really cool. Hey, can I ask you something about Rebels cartoon real quick? Why is so the Mandalorian in it, her last name she's Sabine Wren from Clan Wren, right? So they're talking about Sabine Wren, Clan Wren, while they're building up all this hype about the Knights of Ren. I'm like, what? Like, everybody was like, yeah, or not everybody, but people were like, okay, so she's gonna have some kind of and we thought Knights of Ren looked like kind of Mando-ish, right? And then we're like, oh yeah, they're going to be like an offshoot of the Mandalorians. And it's like, she's got to be, and she had a dark saber at the time too, at one point. So the dark saber story all takes place in Rebels, or part of it. Sorry, part of it's Clone Wars and part of it's Rebels. So Sabine Wren has the dark saber at one moment too. So that, to me, that's a big miss or something that's not being explored yet.
There's one person, I forget their name, the last name, it's Pablo something, and they are the keeper of all the Lucasfilm lore and canon, and it is their job to look at everything from the comics to the card games to the miniature sets to the backs of the action figures to the movies and say this went here and this and that and this is the Knights of Ren and this is Mandalorian and this is Yoda's family tree and blah 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 blah. And that's the person to ask because I don't know.
Let's break into that person's house.
Yeah, it's Pablo. I've got a book, Pablo Hidalgo. If he's still in charge, that's the name, Pablo Hidalgo.
Okay.
And they were in charge, at least to my understanding, they were the keeper of the Lucasfilm lore. So
there's so much.
Anything gets past, they know it all.
There's so much that is focused on Ren, but almost nothing to do with Stimpy. So another.
Hey, but P.S. about that show, I'm stoked. Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, and fuck John Chris Falusi. So there's another spin-off from Mando, Rangers of the New Republic. The only info we have about it is that it's contemporary with Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So I got the impression, although very little info is out, that the Ahsoka story is going to be contemporary to the Mandalorian story. I would love to see, the backstory that you're talking about, James.
It's all your favorite characters from Mandalorian in one show. So probably Bill Burr, probably, everyone that Mando has met over. That's what I'm guessing. Like the
Bill Burr
DC
was Nobo's
shows
favorite
centered
character.
around Cara Dune's character.
Yeah, totally right. So it'll be because she's now Marshal, right?
Yeah,
or a Ranger.
Yeah, it would be cool. That could be really cool, man. That could be all right.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm not super excited.
I'm
I don't think
a pretty straightforward action series with this one.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's better in the second season, Jesse, but you haven't seen it yet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he sucked in the first one.
Bill Burr steals that episode he's in the second season. I
he's
was
dope
really
in
surprised by that. Yeah.
So there's a show coming called Andor about Cassian Andor, which is Diego Luna's character from Rogue
Everybody wants to know more about him.
Yeah, and
could be cool. Could be cool.
He dies in Rogue One, right? He dies at the end.
So it's going to be before that,
yeah.
and it's him and Alan Tudyk is coming on as the
Tudyk.
droid.
What?
Alan Tudyk's. He's the man with two dicks, and he was also in Firefly.
Yeah, he's from every canceled sci-fi thing ever.
Well, he's from every Joss Whedon.
I don't remember a man with two dicks in Firefly.
Was he on like Sequest or something?
That was that science fiction show where everybody keep their pants on. So I don't know. I can't vouch for him or not.
You can trace the bulge.
I don't know what.
You can trace the bulge.
You're able to trace the bulge if you. It's called just paying attention, guys. It doesn't have
My
to
name's
be
Tracy Bulge. I'm happy
face.
to. Well, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to I'm like super crazy excited, I will give it about I'll watch the first episode and see.
That's low.
Yeah,
that's
nice
a very.
I'm going to co-sign SJ on that one.
I'm not so psyched on the character, but I loved Rogue One so much.
Yeah,
that's going to carry me into a certain amount of enthusiasm for the show.
I have Rogue's first appearance as well. She got the powers from Captain Marvel or Mrs. Marvel. Never mind.
I love it when Wordburglar does the comic book voice and just says something that's true.
I'm just going to mind my business over here.
That's my real voice. This is how I really sound, and then I have to act when I'm talking. That is good when Rogue met the Avengers and absorbed the power abilities.
When I first saw the big list of upcoming Star Wars properties, I'd heard about it, and then I thought the list was a joke because I misread the next one. I really thought it said The Bad Bitch. And I thought there was a Star Wars The Bad Bitch coming, and I was like,
it did say that.
Star Wars Girl Boss, and I was here for it. But The Bad Batch.
It's like The Bad Bitch. It's about the droid from Solo. That droid that pissed everybody off? Like, even the people that she was supposed to, like, impress.
I don't remember.
And now she's part of the Millennium Falcon for life.
I don't remember. I gotta rewatch Solo.
Bad Batch. You don't remember that droid?
No, I only saw it one time.
So that's an animated...
It's an animated Clone Wars spin-off. It's Rogue Clone Troopers, and it takes place after Episode 3, so it might be contemporary with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I hate those battle droids. It's anytime I start to think, oh yeah, there starts with parts of the prequels that aren't that bad. Then I remember those annoying battle droids that talk.
I fucking hate those battle droids.
Oh, the ones that talk with the...
They're like Looney Tunes characters.
Weapon.
That's all, Jedis.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The idea of getting like a Disney-fied version of those is not really...
Does Disney-fied mean the same thing now as it used to, though?
Yes, it does. Now, let me touch on that for a second about the Disneyfication of Star Wars. Not Rogue One. The Mandalorian was probably the first content we got. Okay, sorry. No, Rogue One was too.
Rogue One was dope. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. The trilogy that came out was definitely Disneyfied. And when I say Disneyfied, it's like when Disney.
Jay Bisney.
Yeah, Disney.
Disney.
Yeah.
You know
Jay Bisney.
I was just going to make that reference, and I'm not going to do it. But when Disney purchased Star Wars or purchased Lucasfilm, it's like, what's the first thing that you expected to happen? Was like, that stuff's going to start appearing in the theme parks. And you have like, Darth Vader coming out and popping and locking and stuff like that going on in Disney World.
That's cool.
But then like, you have this sort of like softening of the edges of it a bit. And I really noticed this in the trilogy movies. Like, the stormtroopers kind of have this sort of like, those stormtroopers can't aim right all the time, right? Like kind of like nudging you like that.
Right. But it's not softer than the prequels. The Disney Star Wars got more edge back than the prequels lost.
Okay, granted, but it's still... There's something there that just has always rubbed me the wrong way about it.
Fan service. Like, it's dicey because we're the fans that they're trying to service. But if they wink too hard, it's like, okay, could you please just play this straight faced for me? Like, I don't want Luke to have like a Kenner toy. Like,
yeah, one wink is sexy. Too many winks is creepy. It's bad.
It means you got something in your eye.
There's some hard winking going on.
Yeah. Okay, I do feel that.
That's more like, hi there. Oh.
And then I think that they're like, okay, we're going to do these Star Wars stories on the side that are going to be a little bit more faithful to how the original films felt. And mostly they were.
Nothing could be more faithful to the feel of Star Wars than The Last Jedi. Wait, what was the first one?
Okay, here's the thing.
Number seven. What was episode 7? Episode 7.
Force
Awakens. Nothing could be more true to this feeling of Star Wars than The Force Awakens.
I don't know. I don't quite agree with that.
Well, I mean, too much in a way. Like, why would you bring back a Death Star? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, why would you?
Yo, we all fuck heavy with Death Stars. Me and my homies all love Death Stars.
Nah, it's just the whole thing was like it was a confused mess. They're trying to create a retro movie. They're trying to create a throwback.
No.
They're trying to include. I'm just like, man, continue the story. You don't even have like. There's so much stuff wrong with it. There's like
confused mess is how you
editing that's messed up.
Yeah.
There's
but
editing
Star Wars
that's
was a
messed up.
confused
There's,
mess. Like we
yeah,
came
but
in,
it was figured out by that point, though, man. It had the math.
The
The math
Jedi
was
a few
there.
minutes ago.
Yeah,
And like the Ryan Johnson movie, right? And it's like,
yeah. Dude,
there's a lot wrong with that movie because it's like he's like, I'm gonna subvert expectations. What he did with the Luke Skywalker storyline, in my opinion, was brilliant. I loved it. That's the big problem with me in this movie is that even though there's a lot of it I don't like, the parts that are good tend to be like among the best scenes in Star Wars. The whole, failure and redemption of Luke Skywalker and taking this man from a hero to a legend, basically, in this movie was a really good story arc, character arc for this guy, and just really well done in the movie. Mark Hamill was nailing it. Ryan Johnson's problem was that he subverted expectations so much that he knocked all the pieces off the table, put them in a bag, and set them aside, and left nothing open to continue this story.
Right.
You got Snoke gone.
Exactly.
You have like the whole Rey and Kylo Ren thing. It just kind of got to a certain point where it couldn't be continued anymore in a theatrical way, I guess.
He created the 9th episode and the 8th episode. I was like, what are you doing?
And it's amazing to me that a company like a corporation like Disney that holds so much like control over its IP would allow for that to happen. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense
no
whatsoever.
sense
It's like
they would have
Berkey's
no
guy
story
he's talking about,
forward.
Pablo. Where was Pablo during this? Was he like, guys, we have another movie that's supposed to come?
I don't know
what I
what's
mean?
Pablo
Like,
with
in the
that.
edit, like was nobody going like, well, shit, like what are we gonna do after this? Like we need to
I assume that he had a plan. Like, he definitely swept the pieces off the board, and I appreciated that because I thought that there were pieces I didn't like on the board. I thought that the dynastic approach to Skywalkers I was sick of it, and I thought that Snoke was even more of a retread. And I wasn't interested in Snoke as an enemy.
Snoke was a boring old biddy, but they needed to kind of do something with him before they killed him off.
Because they made him very epic in the first one, in Force Awakens. He was it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then in this one, he's like a gold robe wearing.
I can't relive. I'm having flashbacks. I have only recently come around to that movie. When I first saw it, I didn't know what to think, and it took me a few times, and I've come around to liking it now. I'm sorry, I have to bounce.
Last Jedi?
But this has been great, and
man.
Peace, y'all.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sean.
Man. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, guys.
You.
Sorry,
so good to see you, homeboy.
Later.
All right.
Okay,
peace,
now that Sean's gone, we can talk about the real episodes. The real shows.
The true underground.
You guys have been showing him these fake ones all this time. He doesn't even know.
So number 6 on the announced Disney shows is a 10 short film series called Visions, and 10 different anime studios are going to make 10 not connected stories. That's like it's barely any
10
information.
Different anime studios exist anymore.
I
don't think they're gonna get Studio Ghibli in there. Maybe like,
can you imagine?
Studio...
Oh yeah, okay.
It sounds cool. It sounds cool. Like, I mean, it might be messed up. It sounds like a cool art project, and I like when
I think it's going to be better than the
Star Wars
Animatrix.
branches out. That's yeah, right.
And do you remember the Star Wars mangas? I used to collect those from Strange Adventures. Yeah. And they included the big scenes and stuff like that. They had a lot of the cut material restored to them. It was one of the first places I saw the big scene.
If they keep these kind of short and sweet,
they
could be all right. Yeah.
I would love
super enjoyable.
Man, you mentioned Studio Ghibli. I picture like also like what's the Gainax story? You know,
Zara.
What's the clamp? What's the clamp Star Wars story? What's the Rumiko Takahashi Star Wars story? Oh, C-3PO keeps turning into a girl. I love it. I can't wait. I hope that happens. There's a Lando series coming, and it's helmed by Justin Simien, who was the director of the Dear White People TV series. So it seems like they're continuing with Lando being black, a person of color. Apart from that, there's very little.
Take the risky route, are they?
Yeah, I think it's a bold move. I fucking hope that it is Childish Gambino again. Like
I heard rumors it's both of them. I heard it's rumor.
And Billy D.
And is Billy D talking about back then it was this thing, and then it's like it was supposed to bounce back and forth from the two times
or something.
Yeah, I would love that.
Which I would love to see. I would fucking love to see that.
Yeah, Billy D.
Just cool. And I hope it's Childish Gambino. I loved him in that role, man. That was great.
It was one of those incredible, note perfect impressions, just like Ewan McGregor's Alec Guinness. That just inhabited it
and
so
it's
perfectly.
Where it had to be a note perfect impression, and it worked really well.
Yeah, and
also, and such a cool guy.
All the reviews that trashed the movie said the one shining thing in this movie was Childish Gambino as Calrissian.
Donald Glover. I forgot. I hate that we called him Childish Gambino. I'm gonna dub it over. With
you want me to do a retake here?
All right, back to our opinions. The Acolyte, set in the era of the High Republic, which I understand
could be interesting. Yeah,
not been touched on very much. Hundreds of years before Episode 1.
Not touched on at all.
The creator of Russian Doll. Did everybody see that Netflix series?
Yeah.
Which I liked a lot.
That was interesting. Yeah, she's great.
I don't
get
to watch a lot of TV, dude. So,
no, I know.
It's on
TV, Netflix.
Yeah,
it's a tight premise sort of sci-fi Groundhog Day spiritual show where Natasha Lyonne just dies every day of her life and tries to get that day right. And so, I don't know. It's like a gritty New York show.
Sounds heavy, Doc.
Yeah, no, it is. It was almost too violent for me to get through.
Did you just say it's a gritty New York show? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I'm not like a smart person.
Okay, yeah. It's kind of incongruent with your description of the show up to that point.
It's like a gritty
it's called Russian Doll.
It's called Russian. Okay, it's called Russian Doll because it's like a matryoshka, peeling back the layers. Yeah. It's not about anything Russian, but
peeling back. So it's like the onion router.
The what?
Nothing. Never mind.
Okay. But yeah, no. The vibe of it being very very urban and gritty makes me feel like, ooh, I want to see this person's take on Star Wars because of the dirt.
Yeah.
And sand gets everywhere. It's also mentioned that it's going to be a mystery thriller. So.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, and there is cool stuff with the Acolytes of the Beyond, all this different stuff, and it's kind of like the essence of the Force. It's like people who are wielding the Force. It's more gray Jedi stuff, as far as I understand. So it's not so much about dark and light. It's about these people who are experiencing the Force. So that's what I kind of got from it, and I would love to see the origins of people realizing they have the Force, or this kind of idea of a development of what becomes the Jedi, or a Force wielder, and all this stuff like that. So that sounds exciting to me, especially now that you're telling me who's doing it and that it's supposed to be a mystery.
Yeah.
That sounds real cool. But
I thought the High Republic was the content that's coming out next year. Does that already exist in the new canon now, like High Republic stories and stuff? Are you watching a show right now about that, or?
No,
not at all.
But James, where do you know about that lore from?
I gotta roll really quick. But I actually gotta end this too. I'm sorry about this, man. But you gotta edit that out. Sorry, man. How I know about the Acolyte stuff was because there was a big push that possibly the Knights of Ren were connected with the Acolytes of the Beyond. There was some stories there. There was some references to the Acolytes with in the Rebels TV cartoon show when they were finding these Sith holocrons and Jedi holocrons and something to do with going inside them or like that kind of a thing. It was pretty interesting, and that's what in what's the last sequel that Kylo Ren has. He has one of those holocrons or whatever, and he's like
Rise of
finding
Skywalker.
Rise
That's
of
a whole
Skywalker.
can of worms to get onto.
Yeah. Yo, I gotta go right this second.
Shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got like a little emergency happening outside.
Oh, no. Okay.
With my gas fireplace in there. So,
All right,
do you want me to,
everything's okay.
do you want me to
too.
check?
Jesus.
Do you want me to check back in like a minute? Or do you want me to go run out and do this?
Sure.
And
let me stop
we
recording.
can cap it off.
Hang on. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stop
Yeah.
recording.
Sorry, dude.
It's not your fault.
Being hit.
Hey, it's me, the dog.
What?
It's me, the dog.
Wait, why are you the dog?
Tell me. You're not looking at the real me.
Oh shit, dude! I love him. Oh.
Ha! Wow.
Flash him up again. Flash him up again when we come back.
That's Chugs.
Chugs, of course it is.
Yeah.
Baby Chugs.
Chugulese. Why did you have to go? What happened at your house? Did it catch fire?
You want me to tell you? Want me to tell you?
I don't know. Not if it's like something you don't want to talk about.
Dude, it was serious. It was serious. Yeah, no, I had a bunch of people putting in gas. That was right before the show that I had to fucking cancel because of COVID. But we were supposed to do a show in my back, and I was renovating my workspace so I could have the show back there. And I could see the dudes walking by, trying to do work on the gas, and they would leave if I wasn't there right at that moment because like their homies doing it for me, and they just kind of stop in. They're like, "Hey, you ready for us to work for an hour?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure thing." So they were there, and I was like, "Fuck, we've talked for so super long. We were supposed to do this for like a 30-minute interview, and this went on for like 2 hours. I gotta like
scratch the surface."
Yeah, I know. So I'm really sorry. I actually had to go scratch the surface of the dirt with a pickaxe and make more space for the gas line to go in to my back studio to make a place for our Animal Force performance that never happened because COVID ruined yet another thing. COVID is a beast.
Can we put together like a home improvement show hosted by you? Just like how to dig trenches in your yard and.
Well, we should have started when I started digging I don't want to dig any more trenches, homie, because I'm done for a minute. But
I guess
yeah.
Now we've got the frozen ground and stuff. It wouldn't be perfect, but maybe in spring.
I've been trying to hack away at the frozen ground to like fill in some of the holes and shit. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I wish I recorded it all. Me and my homie Redbeard, like we did some. His name's Kelp Redbeard, and we just did so much crazy stuff in my backyard in like a couple weeks to get it ready for this show and for the winter of COVID, so I can paint back there and everything. But
yeah,
man. Anyways, sorry, that's a rant.
I think okay, but in the future, I know that your house is like something you've been working on for ages. I'm sure you're not done. You're gonna keep working on it. Next time you have a home improvement project, we're gonna document it, and it's gonna be Lisa Sahib hates working on his house, and it's just gonna be you like
that'd be awesome.
Not enjoying home renovations.
You know what I did yesterday so I could shoot this show? This is what I fucking did. I was like, I got to do this now, or it actually took 2 days. I used to have a bed. See this part right here where it's like white?
Yeah.
Right behind Grogu. This white bit used to be a bed that like came out, and it was like this whole surface, and then all of my like fabrics and stuff that I sew were underneath it. And then I was just like, I'm sick of that. And you were like, you need a better place to shoot from. Not that this is any better before. Remember that? You were like,
Pretty
hey,
nice.
the background's kind of boring. It's obviously a door I'm hanging paintings in front of.
I never said it was boring.
You son of a. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, so I tore it all down, but I was like, I have to do it in one day so I can have it ready for the show with Jesse. So, yeah, that's one thing I did was like tore this whole thing down and like made it instead of a bedroom floating bed layer.
Yeah, it was like a bunk bed with no bottom bunk.
Yeah, except for just art supplies underneath it. So like I moved half of that shit out to my shed and like, yeah. So it was intense. But
where do you sleep now? Where are you sleeping now?
On the floor of this room.
In the pines.
Yeah, exactly.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Did you put your mattress on the floor?
I took the whole. Do you really want to know? I took the whole level from this thing and like made an augmented version of it like on the ground and then like raised. So it's raised up a bit. It looks actually real fucking nice.
Okay, that's awesome. I was worried that just to make a set for the show, you had just gone back to a mattress on the floor like a college kid.
Like every other place I've lived in my entire life until I made a raised platform. I had a platform in my old studio that was like over the stairwell, and that's where I slept. And then I brought that here, and that's why I stuck it up here. You were at that spot before. That was crazy.
Yeah. I think I only went there one time when you lived in that like Ninja Turtles hideout. You had more of a secret base really than an apartment.
Yep, secret base by the lake. Yeah, that's what they called it. Yeah, man, that was a pretty intense, awesome space. Two floors of a whole building for like $700 back in the day. That was just like, yeah, everything's changed, man. London's changed. Holy crow, drugs and gentrification does it. But yeah, no, I'm in a good. I don't know. I got a good spot now to sleep, so it's cool, decent, okay. You know. Yeah, no, it's really good. Well, actually, what happened was I screwed up my leg too doing the renovations, right? So I like smashed up my leg really bad, and I got sick of climbing out of the bunk bed, and I was just like, yeah, it's about time for a change. So
get down on the ground. Well, yeah, I like your new studio. I'm probably not that different to the people, but I mean your film studio, your new news desk. Can you shuffle your papers for me a little bit?
Well, hold on a second. We got to get into the next. Up next is we talk about what we're doing in the future, Jesse.
The future. Well, one thing I'm going to do in the future is grow my beard back a little bit. I had a trimming accident this morning, and it's karma for making fun of George Lucas's beard on the weekend. Like, I gave myself his exact beard, and it turns out I have the exact same shaped chin and jawline as him, so it has just the exact. It's silly. Like it's a little bit better in a way than what I was doing. Like I needed to bring it up, but I tried to hide a hole that I found in my beard, and I also trimmed the rest too short. My insecurities about my facial grooming, I think, is a through line that I'll continue to return to throughout the year, and I'm going to be hoping that people like give me feedback watching the show. Give me tips. Any of you who watch the show throughout 2021, you see my beard look a little different from week to week. Give me tips on how you trim yours or trim your friends.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll try it.
I can't give you any. I'm cursed with this like bald spot that accentuates, a double chin and all this stuff too. So it doesn't make it extra nice. But luckily I'm short, so people just see me from this angle. But
you've got like the human MySpace angle.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good. So hey, what exciting stuff do you have coming up in 21?
It's the 10th.
Uncle Jess, are you there?
It's the 10th anniversary of Humble and Brilliant in March, and that really crept up on me. But I got to do something about it.
Yeah.
I could tell you people. I've talked to Apt about maybe remastering it, and he's going to take a look for the files and see what it would take and what he can do. Because it's 10 years later. He's 10 years better at mixing and mastering than he was when
Totally.
he first did it.
Apt?
Apt, yeah.
Man, we should get Apt on here. Apt is a slept on
I talk.
awesome rapper and
That's
such a
another.
cool guy.
In the new year, I'm gonna get Apt on this show. I've already talked to him about it because
Okay.
he's got his his bulldog George,
Ooh,
who I'd
let's
like
get
to do
Georgie boy up in
a
here.
pet interview with, and
Yeah.
he also has this whole album that he made probably 12 years ago that he just doesn't really care about releasing, and I would
What?
love to like play it and talk to him about it, and yeah. So Apt and like so many guests. I mean, for the show is something I'm pretty excited about coming into the new year. Like if I think about the world, I'm literally like sincerely medically depressed, and
Sure. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah.
think of like the future with a lot of fondness or anticipation. But like
Yeah.
doing this show is like got me excited about a few things like cameras and setting up these little scenes and I don't know, making time to talk to people about stuff that's interesting. What about
Definitely.
what about
Definitely.
you?
Well, one thing I'm excited about besides doing stuff with this show is something you do have a part in too is we're making a remix version of the Spinch soundtrack. Um,
Yes.
which I don't know if I'm supposed to mention it or not. I'm mentioning it anyways.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. Which you have a big part to play in that. Which is really great. But I've got a lot of our posse and our beloved rappers and beat
Yeah.
makers remaking the beats from Spinch. Yeah, right on, Les.
More or less.
Um,
Finally, he says.
Les chiming in finally. Well, hey,
Yeah.
it's not up to. It originally wasn't up to me. The real delay on it originally was because we were delaying the release of it because we're coming out with the physical Spinch soundtrack album on vinyl. You heard it first here. Maybe I said it a couple weeks ago too, but I wasn't supposed to. Still not supposed to announce it, but I'm doing it anyways. I don't give a shit.
Wow.
Imaginarily, I did it in imaginary land,
Yeah,
so
we have
I can't get
plausible
in trouble for it.
deniability. This whole show's about like what if.
Exactly. I got yeah, exactly. I got like the preview of the cover. It looks super awesome. Like Jesse, of course, has done an amazing. Jesse Jacobs
Not me.
has done an amazing. Not you, the fake Jesse, has done like an amazing job on the artwork and the inside and everything. So it's a beautiful. It's like a really nice piece. And that's coming out on I Am 8-bit. Which is like a huge deal for us. It's really stoked. They're also putting out the physical versions of Spinch. That's going to be out in February, so that's the delay on the remix album.
Right.
So,
So you got to give the original a little
which
chance to
yeah,
breathe, and then
exactamundo.
the remix
Yeah,
like
and I'm
sweeps in.
I'm so happy for both. Like the remix, I mean the album itself, I put so much into and all the sound effects and
Oh
everything
yeah.
like that. But then for it to come out in physical on such a good label, and then also this remix project, like everybody came correct on it. It's really dope.
Yeah, so there's
Um,
a lot of the beat making has been done already because they were
yeah,
getting
yeah,
ready for the earlier release time concept, and it's really just seeing where rappers are going to fit on it or vocalists are going to fit on it. Uh,
yep.
that needs to be done to make it ready for the world.
Which you've got a lot of it reassigned to certain people.
Hmm.
We're just waiting for it to. But yeah, we can't really announce that part yet. But we'll be
Yeah,
telling people bit by bit as stuff progresses and that. So we're excited, and of course, it's going to be available everywhere.
I think
I'm
also
not sure if.
just
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
one of the factors in like the hurry up and wait of it all is like the COVID factor this year has been like, producing beats in your bedroom. There's never been a better time for it. Recording vocals if you don't have a studio at home, not a great time for it. So that has really like thrown a wrench into like how our rapper friends and collaborators are able to show up.
And you said it exactly right. Like that's the problem is that everybody who makes beats is already kind of making it in their basement, but a lot of people go to those beat makers to those beat makers' houses
Yeah.
to record their vocals, and so a lot of our rapper pals haven't been able to make it out, which kind of sucks. But it's also like whatever, man. I'm super stoked for it, and everybody who's put in all this work on it
It's gonna
already.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, we're real stoked, and I think you guys are all gonna enjoy it too. Just the other thing that so there's that. I got a book coming out that's like an art book about an exhibition that Jesse you had a lot to do with too at the time of the opening of the exhibition, but you also were so I had a show in it started in this one museum and it went to another museum and the possibility for it to travel in other places, but I had an opportunity to do a lot of workshops with the museum people at the time, and they were like, "Do you have any friends who do cool workshops?" And I was like, "Yeah, my homie Jesse does." So we got Mr. Dangerously up there in Sarnia, and we have some work that we did up there that's unreleased from that time period too. We stayed up in a hotel there for a couple nights, and we did some awesome fun stuff.
Ate a whole bunch of candy.
And too much candy. We OD'd on tons of
Arguably,
sugar. Yeah,
arguably too
yeah.
much candy.
Arguably, yeah, exactly. But so that book from that exhibition, which is basically like a survey of all my work from like '98, even they have old pieces from that up until now. So it's a lot of sound sculptures, a lot of cool stuff. And Jesse and I did some cool like shots of us playing sound sculptures of mine and just different cool stuff. It was like a very cool, like I guess we spent maybe with 3-4 days together up there. You came back down to London and had another exhibition, if I'm correct, too. Yeah, at the Gibson Gallery there too. So yeah, that book's coming out. And it's a little book, but it's got a lot of good stuff in it. I'm really happy with the writers in it. Like Shad wrote for it. Jesse Jacobs did a comic for it. Darren Dowell, Lisa Daniels, they all wrote like really great essays. And so for me, I've got a couple exhibitions coming up that I'm working on right now. I got a museum show actually this week, no, in a week that I'm going to install in Kitchener, but it's going to be up till October. So when the COVID stuff calms down, it's at this museum in Kitchener. It's like a sound exhibition, all about like sound sculptures and different stuff like that. And then
We can
I
hopefully
have
like
another
do a
one
little
at
feature on that next week, like if Lord willing, if you're able to get some shoot some stuff while you're hanging it and all
yeah,
that.
definitely. Yeah, like we'll do. I'm installing. I'm doing like a full mural in there. I'm just gonna freestyle like a mural, and go for it. And then I'm installing these sound pieces, and I'll be shooting for sure then, and then hopefully we'll get some kind of like imaginary Wednesday time during that too. So yeah, check back on this channel because I'll be showing the progress of the mural on here, and the progress of the exhibition on here. Yeah, and then I have a show at this gallery called the Glenhurst, which is in Brantford, which is like this really awesome old building. But I'm going in there to just like do a bunch of graffiti on their walls and like do weird installations and sound noise and
That's also in
stuff in this
Kitchener?
awesome. That's actually in Brantford. That's later
Oh.
in the spring. So, once I'm done this show, I start working on that show. So got lots of stuff cut out, lots of work cut out for me in the
You have it lined
in
up
this
so
year.
far in advance.
Man, I just got like another show for 2022. That's going to be really great, a great solo show. Like that I already was like it was supposed to be 2021, and
Right.
I knew 4 years in advance, 2 years in advance for that one. So yeah, these things like you plan them 4 years sometimes, usually, 3, 4. If it's 2 years in advance, it's short,
Right.
short
Ooh,
notice.
better
Yeah,
hurry.
yeah, exactly.
Speaking of
It
short
creeps up
notice.
though. What's that? Yeah, short notice. Yeah.
Well, speaking of short notice, before we go, I do want to check out the new EP from 2 weeks' notice,
Oh,
Michael
word.
Kill and Tribe
Yeah,
One. But before I just couldn't pass up the segue. But is there
definitely.
more? Is there more that you have on the? Well, yo, don't you have a little toy on your desk you wanted to
Yeah, I wanted
share?
to show. Thank you. I want to show actually two things. One of our show sponsors this week is Sugar Boy Toys. Um, that's made by a local artist, Christopher Dupont Martinez, and he's one of our show sponsors.
Getting
He made this
glare.
dope.
Yeah, yeah. Hold it that way.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to
COVID
just show
warrior.
all the COVID warrior, and every once in a while when you order one of his toys, you also get a free additional toy, but you're very lucky if you get these ones. So
Holy.
I'm super lucky. Chris is a dope artist, and he's helped me paint a few murals around town, and he's assisted me on a few projects too. So he's the homie.
M. Leshep
He
says,
knows what's up.
want.
Yo, for realsies, for realsies. Yeah, this guy's cool. Check him out, Christopher Dupont Martinez, and he sells all these handmade toys that he makes. And he's actually the guy who made the Mean Joe Tunes Booze Hound for our
Wait a minute.
homie, but which broke. But
Mean Joe Tunes
he
didn't make
printed
it?
it up. Mean Joe Tunes did the painting and the design.
Wow.
He designed it, drew it, and everything like that. But this guy does all the handmade, like printing and all this kind of stuff like that. Yeah, they are real nice. They're real nice. The dude's the homie. So that, and then just wanted to give a shout out to Teenage Engineering because I'm excited to play with this. This is the best thing I got for Christmas, which is one of the little pocket operators. So thanks, Natalie, for that. Just wanted to say that. That's it.
But you don't have the batteries. You can't play as a bleep or a bloop right now?
I can't. I do have the batteries. I just don't know how to play a bleep or a bloop and send it to you right now in this
Fair
sound.
enough.
So
That is...
give me a bit. I'll come back to you soon.
All right.
With some tunes and sounds. but so we're gonna play these songs, which I'm stoked to hear. But I guess we're gonna sign off now and then play the songs.
Quick
right?
before we go, I also have a very quick show and tell.
Yes,
I
sir.
just remember I've been meaning. Yeah. I found these on the ground in Hintonburg in the snow, and it's some zines.
What? Show those.
Okay, so this one's
Again.
From the Loss for Words by Keith Waldrop, and it's like all three of them have like this shorter cover and then longer pages in the middle, and it looks like prose and poems.
Yes.
Description of the burden, landmarks and liver marks, haunted house, pioneer neurons, smells. Oh mercy, memory cells. I am not the first to notice its sword. Its initial S transferred to end position becomes words. Interesting.
That's pretty good.
Hounds,
cool.
Hounds by Cecilia Stewart. I'm going to take a quick peek in here. Probably, I wonder if it's also poems. Oh, that's interesting.
You found these on the ground?
Yeah, I found them on the ground. I think they must be local. They're like very short, whatever they are, but like if they're poems, they're like really dense poems. Yeah, it looks like it's poems. This one's called Jog 1. A day caked in aphids, a station to bear, and no one here to see me save my pots and pans. A day along the steep ravine, swatting black flies and careening. Later I'll hold Congress in the parking lot. Maybe I'll leave letters at her door. Chewing up the yellow sky, ask where everyone's gone to, and how to get it all in miniature, how I'll try to write it down. That's just part of that poem. But I think
I like that.
I'm looking forward to it. I've just had it I had it in the bag I was carrying when I found them, and I just looked in that bag again recently because I thought something else was in there. And the one that I'm probably the most excited for is The Ham Harp by Amelia Does, because
Whoa. I know Amelia.
Oh, word?
I know Amelia. Amelia Does.
Yep. Does, not does.
Dude. That's crazy shit, man. This is not a lie. Do you know who that... Dude, that's crazy. My first graffiti partner and my first rap partner, Des1, a.k.a. Shtick, used to date Amelia Does, and that's how I met her. And she's like a filmmaker, artist. She does cool stuff. Like, that was back in the 90s, man. Like, she was doing fashion design, and we used to do some... Like, we used to wear her clothes and shit back in the day. And she's a poet. She's all types of... And you just found her zine? Like, dude, this is not a joke.
I found the zine on the ground, and I
What?
thought The Ham Harp was such a funny title and image that I couldn't leave it there to be eaten by squirrels. And I guess all of these are published by Above Ground Press here in Ottawa. Rob McLennan, who I've run into at a small press fair, which he puts on, and would never let me do a reading at.
So, dude, this is so... I'm sorry about not letting you do readings. He's a sucker for that. But that's Imaginary Friends juice right there, man.
It's so
That's amazing.
The poems are really small too. Here, let me grab one. All right. Rampart. Ram. Rampart. Ram blood. Ram blood bag. That's rampart. Then there's rum. Rum pot. Rum spring. Rum out of the pot. Like a pig out of water. Okay, is it called Rampart because it's ham harp? Is that a rap? Pink men of Guelph. On the corner I saw his pink hair. A nasty, older Ariel pink, leaning on a garbage can, sniping threats around the corner. A shirtless man, all pink in the center, his face a child, full and explosive. I asked for protection to walk between them. A man with long dreads obliged. The pink-bellied man looking ready to blow. The pink-haired man solid on his post, like a fucked-up eagle looking for vermin.
Damn, dude.
Found it on the ground, the ham harp.
That's awesome.
Well, now I want to know more.
Awesome,
Maybe we could track down Amelia and have her on the show.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude.
See what's been up to since the 90s. Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like we've talked like a bunch since then, but yeah, like that's real cool, man. That's really neat.
More or less says Jesse does thesis does Jesse does thesis dude.
Yeah, cool.
Les should just be on the show every episode because he's got the fly commentary. All of our friends should be on every episode. Let's just have a big 30-person Zoom call.
That would not be. That would totally go fine. There would be no problem with that at all.
I can't think of one problem that could happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
All right. Speaking of friends, we should play some of our other friends' music, but we should say peace right now to all of our friends out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, you have one more?
There was one more thing because I forgot that while we were listening to the Star Wars conversation, I got excited about the idea of Baby Yoda or adult Grogu nativity scenes. And so I looked it up, and I found a few. So I'm just going to quickly go to my screen. Okay. So this is the first one I found, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know. I don't hate it, but it's just not.
Why would... that's Werner Herzog, right?
Yeah, it doesn't... Well, yeah, exactly. He wouldn't be nice. It's just picking a bunch of people.
I'm not really sure who the Jedis are. Is that Luke and...
It's Anakin and
old Obi-Wan?
Obi, yeah.
So that's bullshit. And this one is pretty dope. It's hard to see.
That's kind of cool.
Big.
That's kind of cool.
It's done with action figures. So this guy knows Rain.
Oh wow.
Does the his whole his or her or their whole Instagram is you can see in the background action figure photography. So I'm actually psyched to look at more of those. But this one, it's the right people. I think it's from last year. Those Tusken Raiders are dope looking, actually. It's well lit.
Yeah. Those are great. Wow.
So that one went a little bit viral. Then I found this 3D print website, and this is a model that somebody made that people can download and print.
That's pretty cool.
And I found someone had done it, and that's what it looks like.
Who's the character next to Mando? Who's the other character next to...
It seems to be a stormtrooper with boobs.
Oh, weird.
So I don't know anything else about it. There's Pogs there. I don't know where the shit that's supposed to be. Oh, but the crest is that mud guy that Mando's got on his armor.
Right.
And there's a dewback. Yeah. They didn't make the bantha though. What, you get tired?
It's cool. There's things I would have I would have changed some There's some obvious hits that why didn't he go with what's Mando's What's that awesome lady who's like blasting people all the time? That should have been.
It's like the Marshal.
Yeah,
Marshal
should have been the
Dune.
lady. Yeah,
I
she's
get, or
dope.
maybe Baby Yoda has a parent also.
Yeah,
Actually,
that would be.
maybe
They should have just done it with the two.
or
What's her name?
Ahsoka.
There's Yaddle is the only other Yoda species we know about. Why didn't do Yaddle, Yoda, and Grogu?
Yaddle Yoda Grogu. You know? Why didn't they do
Yaddle,
Yaddle Yoda Grogu?
What do you do?
Yaddle Yoda
What up
Grogu.
with that voodoo?
That you do so well.
That you
So
do.
that is sorry. That was the last thing I had to say. I know we're going over time, but yeah. So after
That was a good last thing to say.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you saying so. So this is the end of the year. This is thanks for, being our homies while we start up this show and then
Thank you.
reboot the show with me on it. And
Yes.
thanks for coming back. And
It's always been you, Jesse. It's always been you. Look, this is the official Imaginary Friends good I don't know, hello or goodbye, or just like this is our live long and prosper.
Wait, let me see. I was
Ours
on the
is
wrong
like-
side. Well, okay.
Sorry, I'm keeping this on here for too long.
No, we can just do this for maybe 10 minutes and then.
That's what I do when I'm hitting on people. I'm like,
Well, yeah, you get them to stand really close together, and then you can touch their erogenous zones on each side. Just like, hey, you two like each other. Stand close. Here we go.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so that was nice. Yeah, so my homies, Michael Kill and Tribe One, made this album. It came out as part of the Fake 4 Freecember releases last week, and it's a really short little EP. It's 16 minutes. It made it up to number 6 on the hip hop charts on Bandcamp.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I just thought I would play it for you while we take off. And
Okay. No, it sounds good. But hey, thank you everyone for hanging out. And Jesse, thanks for being a dope, fun pal to hang out with online with on this fun show.
Thank you too for the same thing.
And thanks Ginzu and Bergie for popping in on our interview. And Les, we got some more fun coming up. Thanks to Bergie, Burger Finger,
Bergie Burger Berg,
Bergie Burger Berg, Wordburglar,
the Bilderbergs.
Bilderberg. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
Back burner.
I like this every time. I'll see you next year.
Yeah. I'll see you next year, pal.
I'll see you in 1 year's time.
Yeah.
Catch up with you in 365 days and a quarter.
No, that doesn't actually work, but
Fuck
see you
you.
next year works. See you next year. Peace, everybody. Fuck you.
Should I mute us? I should mute us.
Let's fucking go! 5 years later, 2 weeks notice. We set the record for dopeness and now we broke it. We never left, we just totally shifted focus and wrote up another opus, the opening of a Lotus.
Our last record had a song called Liam Neeson, but it turns out he's a racist, so straight up, fuck him! Maybe it's a curse turning wholesome stars toxic, but fingers crossed we don't ruin Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
8 o'clock coffee with a flaming hot croissant, then I take a walk, maybe not, I ate a lot. Exhausted, clear my plate from off the tablecloth, and that ain't my only way to start the day, I got options.
Styles every measure drastic, conceited bastard, flip a dusty record to a certified classic. Literally a master, you're a novice in this game. You barely make an impression and I'm here to leave a stain.
I'm half Jason Statham, half Clay Aiken. I've seen the world off the songs that I made in my basement. Only fam, I give a damn if the radio plays them. I want my songs on the International Space Station.
10 foot tall, one ball, your partner sweating me. They think it's so cute the way I sing my off-key melodies. I'm a different pedigree, that's just the way it is. You trying to maintain, I'm up here handling my biz.
This is a calm, collected, measured response. Not every song is intended to behave like a gentleman on what you expect us to do next when everything's wrong. You are correct if you guess whatever we want.
If you haven't heard, 2 weeks notice this is squad. With an attitude so flippant, we test the patience of God. Tribe One is a pacifist, you should be aware though. If you test kill, you might catch a falcon arrow.
What a wonderful day. Quick reminder, we are dying.
They can never hold us down, even with a persistent frown. Wondering what the next step is, but it's eventually found. Stellar, best adjective to describe. At the bottom of a well, so yelling, yo, we're still alive. And I get it, some people doubt it, wanna act aloof. Can't stand for long, I guess that was just the truth. And I know some people thought it wouldn't last. Talking out the side of the next view with a bunch of trash. And the last laugh is ours, cackling the whole way. With a frosty glass, freshly squoze lemonade. It was a popular drink, it still is. A lot of people don't respect the classics, recognize what new ones hit. With the force of a title splash, slam against the kayak. Did it again, they don't even know how to react. It's it and that's that. You couldn't touch that with a hammer or a ball bat. They can't ever hold us down. They can't ever hold us down. They can't ever hold us down. They can't ever hold us down.
We started at the bottom and all but been forgotten. For a lot that probably would have been a problem, but we're awesome. We're like the perfect bond of Anticon and Quantum to accomplish any goals we got in common when we want them. We went from eating ramen noodles as a constant to still eating a lot of ramen, just not as often. We're on the road rocking shows from Omaha to Boston in a modern model Datsun, not even calling shotgun, just taking off and throwing caution to the wind. So our shows are less like opera, more like talking to our friends. But I approach it like a doctor about to operate again. I write a song like it's a sin and opted not to make amends. We just flexing on the metronome until the next episode. You get to where you're headed, let me know. Send a card and sign it with an X and O. There's only one direction left to go. Straight up.
They can't ever hold us down. They can't ever hold us down. They can't ever hold us down. They can't ever hold us down.
Now that we've been everywhere that we've been, tell me where do we go now? Now that we've done everything that we've done, tell me what do we do? Now that we've been everywhere that we've been, tell me where do we go now? Now that we've done everything that we've done, tell me what do we do?
They can't ever hold us down.
Where do we go now?
They can't ever hold us down.
What do we do?
They can't ever hold us down.
Where do we go now?
They can't ever hold us down.
What do we do? It was all going really well. Nobody asked and I didn't tell. Just content to continue ringing the mission bell. Never giving anyone a glimpse into my hidden self. No me llamo Onama Iwa je m'appelle. Except for the fact there were cracks in my little shell, which contradicted the fiction I'd written didn't gel. Within the limits of my skin it's like a prison cell, and every minute is a living hell. How much longer do I have to play this act of masquerade? I feel my passion fade to black with every passing day. I feel so trapped I can't imagine that I never had to stay. But now the mask won't come unfastened without having to decapitate. Wait, maybe it's only a fleeting moment of weakness, cause the ground beneath my feet is so seething I'm getting seasick. When I can lie to myself it makes it easy to believe it, but suddenly I'm not so keen to keep my little secret anymore. And it all falls apart, all falls down. And it all falls apart, all falls down. And it all falls apart, all falls down. And it all falls apart.
This is how it starts. The bit up crushing on the broken parts. Spoken still and still I feel the heat that's throwing open sparks. Broken hearts, chipped enamel wrapped in cellophane. Paragraphs and laughter, chiseled chapter, crass and so profane. It's all the same, at least it feels that way really. Who's to blame? My mind is made, I'm barely feeling feelings. Stuck up to the ceiling, serving cracks and all the pain. Realize it wasn't who I was, it's more of who I ain't. I'm in the grave, trying to claw up in the pouring rain. Water rising fast and now I know that it's too late to change. thinking, dang, if I could just go back and change some things, probably try to make it hurt more when I walk away. A broken cage, expression you can never gauge. Already left the stage before the lights and clapping fades. Self-made, but whatever that is worth, attain my goals and all you got your fucking feelings hurt.
And it all falls apart, all falls down. And it all falls apart, all falls down. And it all falls apart, all falls down. And it all falls apart. And at the end of the day, I never meant to let this get in the way. But now that everything is less than okay, I made a mess of this. And yes, it doesn't represent my best on display. But what do you expect me to say? Just press play and I'll recite the lines that you've already memorized. And the overwhelming sense of pressure gets intensified. But you're desensitized. And I am best described as an expert at leaving stress levels kept inside until it all comes out later in the song. And this becomes my way of saying maybe I was wrong. And maybe I've been banking on the waving of a wand. Maybe I made it meaningless by keeping you waiting for too long. But maybe I'm digging a deeper new ditch, putting my foot in my mouth to see if the shoe fits. Maybe the truth is that this is just the best I can be. Nothing is perfect, but especially me.
So why don't you watch me drown? Sing along as you watch me sink down. I wanna watch you drown. Want to watch you. I missed a lot of things and now it's always on my mind. 600 miles away when my kids saw snow for the first time. I was setting an example, pursuing a better life, and now I'm just as far away from my latest 9 to 5. Truth is water's always there, filling up my lungs. Sad song with a refrain already been sung. A bitter jagged pill that I've taken by choice. Washed down to amplify a bit of broken voice. Drink me potion only made me more small. A monologue through a shattered jaw. Sincere bump, all of y'all most hostile in the game. Against the backdrop of friction and outright shame. Game played with malfunctioning controllers. In the wrong hand might blow up, kill the holders. Now I'm getting older, dug a grave for myself. A catalog of lies I never lived on a shelf. So why don't you watch me drown? Sing along as you watch me sink down. I wanna watch you drown. Want to watch you. Vibrate, uneasy feeling I can't shake. Yellow line slides by, I veer out of my lane. The show was alright, but at this point I'd rather sleep tight. Bed under my body and the ceiling is staring rather than headlights. Right. Did I tell you that story about back when? Of course I told you the story about back when. You in the passenger seat, looking tucked in. I'm sipping on the coffee, forced to the laugh and a grin. Every exit feels like I turned the car into a bedroom. Only a few miles away, don't stop, it's too soon. Doing weights along the line of every shoulder. Lots of darkness in the trees, it's only getting colder. I'm only getting older, much like both of my kids. Getting past the point where it's something they deal with. Something they learn from, a lesson to teach. A sequence, code to crack, a chance to practice what I preach. The first time I tried to fly, my eyes were open wide. I spread my wings and never left the ground.
everything I got, but it's not enough. And all I wanted was to make a meal and an honest buck. I put the rubber to the road, left the lover and a comfortable abode, just to wonder whether anyone was gonna show. I'm hungry to compete and reap the trouble that I sowed. Then coming home with several hundred under what was owed. And I never stopped to offer up a thought of any consequence, or possibly acknowledge any flaws, but no one ever got an audience from following logic and common sense. And opulence has never been my measure of accomplishment. That's the legacy I leave my daughter and my son, a monument to follow and call until it's done. My word is bond is promised in the songs I haven't sung, so I'm hollering with water in my lungs.
First time I tried to fly, my eyes were open wide. I spread my wings and never left the ground. Close my eyes to the skies, to the skies. First time I tried to fly, my eyes were open wide. I spread my wings and never left the ground. Close my eyes to the skies, to the skies.
Someday, real soon, things are gonna be much better. Someday, real soon, things are gonna be much better.